An evening at the Reed House in South Charlotte. Mom Jocelyn works on dinner, Dad Paul works on a crossword puzzle, while the kids work on a game of Uno.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
There's 8-year-old Riley, 6-year-old Zach, and baby Jordan, along with some neighborhood kids, and also 2-year-old Trey. The little guy was enamored with our video camera. We're not allowed to reveal Trey's true identity because he's in foster care and has been with the Reeds since he was just 3 days old.
Just the idea of not only helping the child, but trying to kind of help the whole family, it seemed like a worthy cause.
The Reeds often talked about having their own biological children and also adopting, but once they got plugged into their church community and met other families in the foster care system, their thought process switched from adoption to fostering.
I like the idea and the mission behind it of, hey, you're with people kind of they're going through some stuff, and it might get better, it might get worse, but you're here for the kids no matter what.
Nicole Taylor serves as the executive director of Congregation for Kids, or CFK. Its main goal is to partner with area churches and the Department of Social Services to help fill in the gaps of the foster care system.
We are not an agency. What we do is we exclusively partner with Mecklenburg County Youth and Family Services, and we recruit and train and then pass those folks along to DSS to become fully licensed.
They made it easier than it would have been otherwise.
You're still getting licensed through the county, but they kind of hold your hand through that process and make it much more enjoyable, if training can be enjoyable.
This past year, CFK recruited and trained 43 foster parents, serving 276 children, issued support gifts to 63 kids aging out of the system, including a mentorship program, and celebrated 482 foster parents and social workers at various events.
These are the only people put in place by our government to intercede on behalf of vulnerable children and families. And their job is incredibly difficult.
I feel like all DSS organizations do the best that they can with what they have. But I think that where we fail the children is not necessarily the Department of Social Services. I think it's us as community.
The North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services says neglect, abuse, and dependency are some of the main reasons children are put into the foster care system. Many of the kids suffer anxiety or PTSD.
You're dealing with children that, have trauma.
But the main goal of the system is to someday reunite those kids with their parents or another family member.
The goal is always reunification. That's most important. Children need their family.
The courts and the judges give the biological family time to work their case plan, to do everything they need to do in order to get their children back, and that just takes time.
Another issue adding to the big picture problem is the high turnover rate of social workers, which some reports put at roughly 30% a year. Burnout, stress, and low salaries are all listed as contributing factors.
I spoke with a teenager a couple of weeks ago. He had 8 social workers while he was in care. He ended up aging out of the system, but 8 social workers.
Issues within the court system only add to the problem.
6 out of our last 7 court hearings have either been canceled or continued.
And in our case, we've had a couple different judges.
And CFK says as children grow older, it becomes harder to find them homes.
When those kids turn 18, they technically age out, meaning the government says, good luck, you're an adult now.
I think it's a broken system.
Because of the high rate of homelessness when children age out, incarceration, early pregnancy, drug addiction, all of these things, they're pretty grim statistics in terms of children that age out of the system.
While not being able to show the kids' faces protects their identity, it also serves as a disadvantage.
In our country, you don't see orphanages. The United States orphanage is the foster care system. In this country, we fiercely protect kids that are in foster care, so much so that they become invisible.
Janira Cho and her husband Charles recently fostered 2 young sisters, ages 4 and 5. It was an eye-opening experience.
My house was maybe their 5th house. Those vital moments, when they need their mom and their dad, they were, clinging on to people that they barely knew.
During their 7 months together, they did everything as a family: birthdays, vacations.
I really wanted to take the time to get to know them and know their story. so that I could in turn help them.
The girls eventually reunited with their birth mother, and to this day, Janira is able to keep in touch with them, which is something that doesn't happen too often.
At the end of the day, I feel like I was one of the lucky ones because I still have contact with the girls and they're still part of my family. But there's children that stayed here as well after the girls that I'll never see again. So it's like you lose a family member.
Working full-time and on her master's degree, Janira and Charles are taking a break from fostering. They might do it again someday, which explains why their guest room is still set up for kids.
There's really kids that are in need and there's not enough homes. It's very sad. I get teary-eyed. It breaks my heart.
It's a tough situation for everyone involved. For Carolina Impact, I'm Jason Terzis reporting.
We hope you enjoyed the story. If you don't want to miss any more great stories about the Charlotte region, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.